So here's your router, right? So you may have a network here, a network here, and a network here, right? So on this, and you've got another router attached there and another router attached there, right? So you've got 3 networks attached to this one router. So you want to advertise those routes to other routers so that they can update their routing tables, so that they can, you know, when they're sending packets, they're able to find the correct route through the network to its destination host. So let's say this network is 192.168.1.0. That's that network there. This network could be, no, this, I'll change that. I don't really like, I'll change it. Right. This network is 192.168.1.0, right? And we'll say it's a /24. This one here will be a 172.169.16.0. We'll say it's a /30. And this one over here can be 172.169.18.0. And we'll say that's a /30 also. All right. So we've got 3 networks. So the serial port 0000 and S000 S001, and this is the G0/1 port, right? Or G00, sorry. So we've got 3 ports, each of them hosting a network. So we've programmed all the ports and we'll put the IP addresses. The next thing we need to do is set up the commands to advertise the routes, right? So first thing you do is you type in router EIGRP and then the number 1. Right, and it's always number 1 for every single EIGRP, for every single router that you do this on. You'll be doing it on 3 routers, and it's the same command. Right, next thing you do is, and this will not work, but just for the real world, router ROUTER -ID, and then if this is router number 1, let's say this is R1, this would be called 1.1.1.1, and this router, if this was R2, you would do this on here, and the router ID would be 2.2.2.2, like that, right? So that once you've done that, once you've set these 2 commands, as I say, this one here won't work in Packet Tracer. For some reason, it's not supported, strange. But once you've done that, you'll be then into the router prompt. You'll see the configuration prompt change to router dash or config dash router. And this is where you start to tell it that your router, your networks. So the use of network command is normal, network. And don't worry, I'll do a wee demonstration of this as well. Network space, and then so this first network here would be 192.168.1.0, and then the subnet mask for this would be 255.255.255.0, right? Normally, but you invert it. So for every 1 in the subnet mask, you change to a 0, and every 0 in the subnet mask, you change to a 1. So normally this would be 255.255.255.0. So if I was to change all these, if I was to change this number here to all zeros, the binary version that is, well, yeah, all the 1s to 0s, what would happen? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I invert those to 0s, it would just be a 0. So that's the same and that's the same. And 0 in binary is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I invert all those, what would that be? 255. So all the 0s become 255s and all the 255s become 0s, which is easy. So then I just go 0.0.0.255 like that. And then I want to advertise. So that's that network done. Then I want to advertise this network. Now look at the subnet mask here. It's a /30, which means it's going to be 255.252 like that. Okay. So I type in network again, like so. The network address 172.169.16.0, and then I invert the subnet mask. So all the 1s, 255 become 0s. 255 becomes 0s. 255 becomes 0s, and then 252. So what does that look like in binary? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 0, like that. So you invert it. So all those 1s would become 0s, like so, and the 0s would become 1s, like so. And what does that add up to? 1 plus 2 is 3. And that would be that. And then this one over here, network 172.169.16.0. /9/18.0, and it's also a /30. I'll show you another way to do it, another way to invert it. So if you just take 255, 255, 255, and 255 like this, right? And then you take the subnet mask, which is a /30, so you put it below it, 255, 255, 255, and 252, right? And just subtract it. So 255 take away 255 is 0. 255 take away 255 is 0. 255 take away 255 is 0. 255 take away 252 is 3. And that gives you like so. And that's it. Okay, that's simple. Let's just use another quick example just to let you see how that works. So if we have a subnet mask, let's say it's a, let's say we've got a slash. Let's say we've got a /28, right? So what does a /28 translate to in binary, decimal? So it's 255, 255, 255. That's 24 plus 4, so it'd be 240, wouldn't it? 240. So what does that translate to if we invert it? So you can subtract 255 from 255 is 0, 255, 250, 0, and then 240 from 255 is 15. But to show you the binary method, so 240 in binary looks like this. Right, so then we just invert all that. So we change these zeros, these ones, sorry, to zeros, and these two ones, and it gives you 15. Okay, so that's it. That's how the inverted sub. Why do you do this in inverted subnet mask when you're doing networks? I don't know. It's just the way you do it. But that's how you invert it. Either convert it to binary and change all the zeros to ones and all the ones to zeros, and then convert it back to decimal, or subtract the decimal subnet mask from 255, 255, 255, 255, and you'll get the same result. Okay. When you do this regularly as a feature, what will tend to happen is you'll just know. You'll see /30, that's a 0003, a /240, that's a 00015. Okay. But if you ever need to work it out, that's how you do it. Any questions about that? Right. Lesson number 4 then. I'll do a wee practical demonstration of it as well at the end of this, so as you understand it, right? What am I looking for? Oh, aye. Why did that happen? Okay, lesson number 4. So far, or in the previous lesson rather, we configured the following features on the topology below. So we've done all this stuff down here. So you've got your 3 switches, 3 PCs, connected them all to the correct ports, connected all the cables to the correct ports, and so on and so forth. And last time we did Ether channel, which is this double link here. We combined it and aggregated it into a single channel. So if you're using 2 100 gigabit ports, you then have 200 gigabits. We created trunking so that traffic from any VLAN can travel across these ports, and so it was ports 1 to 4 in each switch that we configured as trunk ports. And then the last thing we did was we disabled DTP, and DTP is dynamic trunking protocol. So if you remember, just roughly, switches have the ability to negotiate their own functionality, so they could like negotiate themselves as to being trunk ports. So you don't want that happening. So all the other ports that would host, either are hosting or would host hosts, have host connected or would have host connected, you would disable DTP because you want them to be switch ports, not trunking ports. So you just run the DTP for all those ports. And it was, remember, it was no switch port mode, no negotiate or something like that. I can't quite remember. Was there anything else? Yeah, you just shut down all the unused ports. So everything where it didn't have a PC connected, you just shut that port down. So that's what we did just before the holiday. Topology. So today we're going to be adding in the 3 routers, router 1, 2, 3, and we're going to name them as R1, R2, and R3. And we're also going to add 7 loopback addresses, or 7 loopback networks, I should say. So loopback 1, 2, and 3, loopback 4, 5, and 6, and then loopback 0 up here, which will simulate the internet. Okay. And all of the IP addresses that's required for these will be provided for you in the table, which you should see shortly. So to add 3 routers to your topology, you'll add 3 20901 routers. Remember to use 2901 for your topology. Others would probably work as well, but I did it in 2901, so to save any sort of discrepancies or whatever, just use the same as me. First thing you need to do is power them off. You need to switch them off because they don't have any serial ports in them. You have to install them yourself. And it's the same thing in the real world. If you were to go and buy, like we did at the college, we bought these 2901 routers that are in 317, and they didn't have any serial ports. The serial ports came with them, but they weren't installed, so we had to install them ourselves. And this is how you do it. So you just open up the router, click on the physical tab, and then you go down. Oh yeah, and then this button here, the on-off button, make sure you switch it off, right? And then you look for the correct module. So HW1, HWIC2T, whatever all that stands for. Click on this, and you'll see it available down at the bottom here. And all that you can do is click it with your mouse and drag and drop it into the big gap there, and that's you simulating an install of a physical port. And see, there's a port there, and there's the other port there. So that's you now get 2 serial ports as well as your normal gigabit ports here and here, and also the auxiliary ports. And where is then it said the console port there, and also the console USB port. But these are the things you need, the serial ports. So you need to do that for all 3 routers. So what I do is I just do it once and then copy the 2 routers rather than doing that 3 times because it takes a wee bit of time. But again, I will demonstrate that for you at the end, right? This is the addresses of the interfaces that you're going to be using in the actual assessment. I won't use these today, I'll use different numbers. What the hell is that? That's my alarm set for 10 AM. That's good if I was just getting out of my bed now, wouldn't it? So interface G01 will have an IP address of 172.27.01, subnet mask 255.255.0, and so on. And there's the S0 port. And these are the loopback addresses LO1, LO2, and LO3, right? So these are the IP addresses, not the network addresses. So you need to work the network addresses out, but I'll show you how to do a quick way how to do it using one command in the router. So yeah, you've R2 and R3. So R2 is the middle router, the one at the top with the loopback 0 address on it here. So this is the internet, and that's a 248. Ooh, what's that number? Anything else in there? Just the IP addresses for the PCs, which you've probably already used. So you're only really interested in that wee section there for today, right? That section there for today. So before addressing the interfaces, change the host names of the routers to R1, R2, and R3, right? So the one over here would be, this is R1, this is R2, and this is R3. Okay. So to configure the router, it says host name R2. You should know that by now. A reminder in creating loopback interfaces. I'm saying a reminder. I don't think we've done this before, but it's dead easy anyway. So to create a loopback address, enable config t int LO0. So it's just LO is just short for loopback, and then it's loopback 0. So this is obviously on R2. When you're doing this in R1, it'd be LO1, LO2, LO3, and then you're doing it in R3, it'd be LO4, LO5, and LO6. So int LO0. IP address 209.165.200.225, and then the subnet mask 255.255.255.248. Okay. And then you don't have to do no shutdown, but I like to do it just for the sake of completion, right? Because it's a virtual interface, not an actual interface, you don't need to do this. But I do it anyway, just to keep myself in the habit of being able of doing that. And then you should know how to configure IP addresses on the actual interfaces by now. Right? If you don't know how to do that, then you're in the wrong course. So you would just do int S000 and then IP address and then S and so on for each one of the routers, right? But again, I will demo all that in a minute. Ensure all interfaces on the routers are correctly set before proceeding. Now, if you just dive in and start doing the rest of this, it's not going to work if you've made one mistake. So just do a show run, look at all the router interface. And I did a wee practice last night and ballsed up 3 times. So that's how easy it is to mess up, especially if you've been out of the loop for a wee while not doing it. So yeah, so just do a show run, look at all the router interfaces and make sure, compare them to the forum and make sure they're all set correctly and they're all activated. So for example, interface loopback. So this is the R2 router. There's the IP address So just double check that that's correct. And then we go down here, 000-172-27-20-1232, 1235, 252, 252, like so. Okay, so that's a /30. And I just double check that with the forum, and I go, oh, that's fine, good. Now we're going to do EIGRP. So remember to check the interface IPs are set correctly before you do EIGRP. So in previous lessons, you learn how to set up routing tables using the RIP protocol, right? This time we're going to use EIGRP instead. We used to use OSPF. Now you probably see references to OSPF in the screens coming up. And it's because I forgot to change them. And that's because we used to use OSPF. And EIGRP stands for Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. Mentioned that a number of times. And when you get to university, for you guys that are going to university, you will be doing EIGRP probably more than anything else. So it gives you a wee shoe in for that, you know, so at least you've seen it before, you've worked with it a wee bit, so you're not completely unfamiliar with it. So it'll help prepare you for that as well. Everything you need to know about EIGRP is in chapter 8 if you want to read all the stuff on there, which is EIGRP in, that would be SEM 3, remember, not SEM 2, SEM 3. I think it's chapter 8, it may have changed. I should check that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I will. Well, so you'll be pleased to know all the other sort of things. There's other things that you need to do for EIGRP at some other times. So we'll not be doing that today, like clock rates and hops and stuff like that. It's all you're doing is setting up the IP addresses and then setting up the network addresses, and that's it. The network route, sorry, and that's it, using the network addresses. Also, the principle of EIGRP are just the same as OSPF and the same as RIP, and the commands are all very similar. So R1, once you have all the IP addresses on the routers, so you've done that, you then have to configure the attached networks in each router. Now, the network addresses are not provided. You have to provide the network addresses, so you have to work them out. Now, you could use a chart to recall the IP address of each interface and then convert it, or you can just do that command. Do show IP route connected. And when you do that, this is what happens. Magic happens. It does that. Do show IP route connected. And look what it provides. It tells you all of the directly connected networks on your router, look. So there you've got 172.27.00, 172.27.20, 172.27.30, 172.27.1230, and that's it. And remember, look, so this is a 24, this is a 24, this is a 24, and this is a 30. So the inverted subnet mask here would be 0, 0, 0, 2, 5, 5, and it'd be the same for all three of these because they're 24s. And this is a /30, so it'd be 0.0.0.3 for that. And then I just use that as a wee guide. So the next thing, like I showed you right at the very start on the whiteboard, so you just type in network 172.27.00 space 0.0.0.255, enter, job done. Once you've configured all the interfaces and connected all the cable, it's time to configure the routing table. And this is how you do it. So this is R1, this is the left-hand router. Enable config T router EIGRP1. So remember, this value 1 does not change from router to router. It's the same in all routers. Okay. Router ID 1.1.1. So router 2 would be 2.2.2. Router 3 would be 3.3.3 and so on. But as I say, this doesn't, pardon me, this doesn't work for some reason. And I'm using the latest version. I'm using version 8 of Packet Tracer and it still doesn't work. So why they've not fixed that, I don't know. But once you've configured it all with all the other bits and pieces, the routers still work even without that. So I guess it's not really that important, but if you're doing it in the real world, that's what you would do. Have a go at it in a Packet Tracer, maybe yours will work, who knows. So then you configure the first network, 172.27.00, then the inverted subnet mask, 0.0.0.255, right? Just as I showed you. So you use a do show IP route connected to get that. Press enter. Do the next one. 172.27.10, press enter. 20, press enter. You could just use the up arrow and change that number there each time rather than type all that, you know, as I'll show you shortly. And then the 172.27.12.3.0.0, 0.0.0.3. So these three here are the loopbacks, right? What router is this? Router 1. And this one here will be the directly connected network for the LAN, I think. And this one here, no. This is the WAN, sorry. This is a wide area network connection, and this is the LAN connection. So this is the one your switch is connected to. These three are the loopbacks, and this one here is the WAN connection that has a serial port, right? Yeah, the other thing is, I don't know if that's right. I think you need to come out of that. Oh, no, it's not. Forget it. Ignore what I just said there. So then you just type in passive hyphen interface G01. So you do that on all LAN ports. Remember, we did that before as well. So here's your router. Here's a router. Here's another router. And these guys all talk to one another, right? And you've got a switch connected here, and there's your LAN. So this will send a router update to there. He'll send it to there. And what will happen is, once this router receives it, he'll send it to all ports, including the LAN port. And it means all these devices down here will be able to read that information, process it, and waste time. So because this network here is connected to G0/0, you make sure it's or G0/1. Make sure you set it to passive interface, which means that once those updates come from other routers, it won't be passed down those routes. Okay, it won't be passed down those routes because the LAN doesn't need to know that information. So it just means it will save a wee bit of processing time, a wee bit of bandwidth as well. Okay, so that's why you do passive interface. And you could do it twice, press the up arrow and do it again and do it for G00. Even though nothing's connected to it, there might be something connected in the future. So you might as well take care of business while you're in there. Other commands that you will enter, you'll use the default static, like you did before with, it should say RIP, but it's the same with this. EIGRP provides the ability to create a default static route, remember, or a gateway of last resort. So if a packet arrives in a router and it doesn't have anything on its routing table for that particular destination, it goes, oh, what am I going to do with that? Oh yeah, I'll just send it out the gateway of last resort. So it's the IP 0000 thing, like. So you do that. So you're required to do this for the simulated internet. So you don't actually program the route for the internet. You just use the thingy. Just do this. So you're on R2. So once you've advertised and created all the routes and everything, create a default static route for L00. So IP route 00000 LO0. Right, so what this is saying here, if a packet arrives on router 2, the router looks at it and goes, I don't have that in my address table. What do I do with that? I'll just send it right out the gateway of last resort, which is connected to LO0. So it sends it to the internet that way. And one other command so that the other two routers can use that as well is redistribute static. So once you type that in, this static route here is sent to all the other routers as well. So it means that if one of the hosts, let's just do a wee drawing here. Networks connected, and the internet's connected to here, but none of the routers have a route to the internet, right? Switch PC. So he sends a packet to the internet. It arrives on this router here, and he looks at the destination address. He looks at his routing table and says, I don't have a route for that. We've already programmed the default static route here on router 2 up here. And when you do redistribute static, it sends that information to here. And so what this guy will do is he will use that information sent by this router and send it to router 2 here. Once it arrives in router 2, again, he'll look at the packet, look at the destination IP, looks at his routing table, says, I don't have a route for that. What do? I send it down 00000, whatever it's called, to the loopback interface, and then it'll arrive at its destination, right? So that's the purpose for that. Run. So router EIGRP1 172.27, and that's just me. So if you do a show run, I can see there's all the networks that have been configured, like we showed you before. You can see the inverted subnet mask in there as well. So before we look at exercise 3, I'll do a wee demonstration just to show you all that working, because there's quite a lot to take in, I guess. So packet tracer. So I've got to open. No, of course I don't. Oh, look at the new screen, version 8. So, as I said, the 2901 router, which is down here, drag and drop. Oops, drag and drop. And can I zoom into that a wee bit, make it a bit bigger for you? Yes, we can. Right, so click on it. As I says, go to the physical tab, which is there by default. And the view here, you can do, there it's there, zoom in, use the scroll bar. And there's a button there. You can see it's, maybe you can't see it that clearly on your screen, but it's got a wee green dot there to show it's switched on. So just switch it off like so. It's switched off. And then you go to HW1C2T here, click it, and you'll see the interface appear down there, right? You can try other ones if you want, but they won't work. I mean, you will be able to install them, but you won't be able to use them, right? So then just drag and drop. Boom, that's it installed, and then switch it on, like so. And if I look at the CLI, you'll see it's booting up. Right? Now, as I says, you have to create 3 of these. So rather than doing that 3 times, say no to that. Rather than do it 3 times, all you have to do is it the control key you hold down and drag? Yeah, just press the control key and nothing happens. Try the alt key, nothing happens. Try the shift key. Try control D. Oh, for pity's sake, this worked last night. Oh, there you go, worked that time. I think it's actually already worked. It's just that it's appeared in a different. There they are. Stupid. Right, delete that one. So these 3 routers are then identical. Right, they're identical. So we just want to configure them. So router 0 was the first one we had. Router 2, router 1. So this is what they're going to look like. And we'll just change the names on these things. First of all, config. And it says display name there is going to be R2. This is going to be R3. R3. And this one here is going to be R1. Like that. And so let's just go in there quickly and change the host names. You can actually do it there. Look at that. I'm just going to cheat and do it quickly, right? R1. R2. And change it to R3. Being lazy. R1, R2, and R3. Fabulous. Next thing, connect them all together. So you need the red zigzaggy line, the serial connector. So connect this one from, let's say, serial 00 to serial 00, like that. And again, this one, S001 to S001, right? So I've done that. Whoops. And then what I'm going to do is, let's just connect will I connect a switch? Oh, why not? Oh, do I really want to do this? Let me think. Yeah, let's just connect a switch. What could go wrong? Nothing. Connect a switch here. And he's using the LAN port, so we'll connect him. Gigabit port. Oh, sorry. What's that? Gigabit 000. Right, ho. Right, so he's a PC as well, I suppose. We'll use a PC for testing. Right, so I need to work out what my network addresses will be. I could use the ones off the sheet, but I'll just make ones up off the top of my head. So I'm going to call this network here. We'll go 172.169.16.0, and we're going to make it a /30. Then over here, this will be 172.169.18.0. We'll make that also a /30. So that's my network plan, right? And this G00 port down here, we'll make this a 192.168.1.0. I'll make that a /24, right? So That's me laid out my plan, network connected. So the next thing I want to do is put the IP addresses on the interfaces, right? So this G00, I'm going to make that 192.168.1.1, okay? So where are we? R1, so int G0/0, enter IP address 192.168.1.1 subnet mask, that, and then no shut. Just have a quick look, make sure I've done it right. 192.168.1.1.255.255.250, no shutdown, enter. That's that done. So the next one up here is going to be serial 000. Remember, we connected to the S000 port to the S00 port. So this is going to be 172.169.16. I will just call it .1. Well, it can only be .1 because it's a /30. Right, so interface S0/0/0 space 172.169.16.1. Just double check 172.169.16.1, good. And the subnet mask for a /30 is 255.255.255.252. Enter, no shut. Right, so that's that one done. Right, close.
Didn't you put that as the IP address, John? You put
what?
the interface and put the interface and the IP address on the same line.
So I did. Good spot. It's about checking stuff and I didn't even check it myself. So that didn't work. That's at work now. And then IP-ADDI. Good spot. Good spot by Scott. Right, good. So that's the IP address he's set for this router. So we'll do router 2 now. CLI. So interface S0/0/0, which is the other side of this. So we've already used 172.169.16.1, so this is going to be 172.169.16.2. 172.169.16.2, and it's 255.255.255.0. No, 252, sorry. So I'll just check I've done that right. 255. Yep, looks good to me, I think. Shut. And then, so I've addressed that interface. So this interface on router 1 and this interface on router 2 are on the same network now. Right? Now we want to configure this interface over on the other side, which is on a different network from this one. Obviously, that's what routers do. So same thing. Interface S000S001 this time. Enter. And then the IP address will be set to 172.169.18.1. Choose the up arrow. Change that 16 to an 18. Save me time all out again. Change that 2 to a 1. Like that. Just like it. IP 172.169.18.1. Good. And no shut. Right, that's that router done. And the last router here. CLI. Move that out of the way so we can see the topology. Right, so interface S0/0/1. Missing a 0. Like that. What have I done wrong there? Oh, I put a slash in the wrong place. Yeah, you can go to prison for that. And IP address is going to be 172.168.1.1. 169.18.2 because we used .1 for the other router, and then the subnet mask 255.255.255.252. Enter. Oh, what did I do there? Oh, I forgot to leave a space. Good, good, good. And then no shut. Just double check 172.169.18.2. Right, okay, good. And let's put an IP address in the PC. 192.168.1 no, I dot and 2. 192.168.1.2. And default gateway will be 192.168.1.1. That's that done, right? So next thing we want to add is maybe, I should have done it beforehand, is to add some loopback addresses. So let's add a loopback address to R2. So we'll do the loopback 0 on R2, just like the assessment is. So interface LO. If you want to type the whole thing in, knock yourself out. Loopback 0. Enter. IP address. Make it something different. 80.80.80.0 slash. Oh no, don't do the slash, silly. IP address, going to call it 1, and it'll be 255.255.255 dot, make it a slash 30 as well then, shall we? So that'll be 252. Right? That would never be happening in the real world. And like I say, you don't need to do no shutdown, but I'm just going to do it just for keep myself in that habit, right? Let's try and ping that loopback, right? So if I go to the PC, to command prompt, and then I'll ping 80.80.80.1. And of course, it's not going to find it because we've not programmed the roots yet, okay? And we'll try and ping our own router, see if that works at least. Ping 192.168.1.1. Of course, that's going to work. Good. So we can get from here to here. Let's see if we can get from here to here. We should be able to do that because these guys are on the same networks, but I need to ping it from the router itself. So if I do ping, and it was 172.169.16.2, and that worked, see? So success rate there, as it tells you, is 5 out of 5. So I'm able to ping from here to here. And then the next thing I want to try and do is ping from here to here. So that would be ping 172.169.18.2.
Need another exit.
Oh, so I do. Ping 172.169.18.2. And again, success rate 5 out of 5. So all of the routers can talk to each other, directly connected routers. So he can talk to him, but he can't talk to him, and this can't talk to any of these two, and it can't talk to the loopback. Okay. So now we need to configure the routing table. So this is what we're doing. This is what you're doing in the assessment. So you click open the router 1. Let's start with router 1. And just enable config T, right? And then that the magic sauce that I told you, do show IP route connected. And there you are. It shows you the directly connected networks here. See that? That means you don't have to work them out, and the router works it out for you by using that command. So just remember that command, do show IP route connected. So then I just do router EIGRP #1, remember? Enter, and then I do router -ID 1.1.1.1, and it'll come up and say invalid command. There you are. Just ignore it then. And then I do network. And the first network there is 172.169.16.0, and it's a /30, so that would be 0.0.0.3. Okay, 172.169.16.0. Yeah, that's correct. First network done. Next network, just press the up arrow, and that would be 192.168.1.0, and it's a 255.255.255.255.0. So we invert that to 0.0.0.255, like so, and enter, and that's it done. So exit this, exit again, show run. Look at this so far. So there's a G00 interface correctly configured. G01 is not configured because we're not using it. There's S000 correctly configured. S001 is not being used in R1, so that's not configured. And here is our routing table, router EIGRP1. And there. Oh, it doesn't have a subnet mask on it. See that? The 255.255.255/24 doesn't have a subnet mask. I don't know why that is. It's very strange. Did that last night as well when I was practicing. And that's it. So we go to router 2 now and do the same thing. So enable conf t do show IP route connected. And I've got 3 this time. Now remember, we're not adding the internet, the loopback 000. We're going to use a different way of doing that. So what is it we're going to do here? Yeah, so we go to router EIGRP /1, enter, and then we do network 172.169.16. That's for the left hand side, .0, and it's 0.0.0.3. 71.16.16, yeah, that's correct. And then just do the up arrow and change it to 18 for the other side. Just check, go back to that, do it's 172.16.18.0, and it's a /30 as well. That's okay. And that's that done. Right. And then we want to put in a default static route for loopback 0. So we do IP, I think we need to exit that. Let's just check. IP route LO0. Let's see if that works. Yeah, it did, it worked. And then we have to do the, oh, I forget the command now. What was it again? Originate, oh, I forget. Let's just quickly check. Redistribute static. So redistribute static. This might not work. I think I'm in the wrong prompt. Router EIGRP. 1, enter, and then try redistribute static. Right. Okay, good. And then go to R3, and we configure this one. This one has only got one route. To show IP route connected. I didn't delete any of that. Oh, I pressed this, typed do, made it so instead of do. Right, so we've only got one network there, so it's easy. Router EIGRP1, enter. And then we can do the router ID we know it doesn't work. We just like to do it just in case one day it might go, oh, look, it worked. Right, and then network. And the network is 172.169.18.0 space 0.0.0. How many zeros is that? 169.18.0 0.0.0.0.3. Enter and exit. And that's the whole thing set up. So this should work now. So I should be able to ping from here all the way to here. Be surprised if it works. Wait, see. First thing, ping 192.168.1.1. That worked. So we can get from our own thing. Does that work, Robert? EIGRP router ID. Oh, that's brilliant. Yes, Robert solved the problem, it looks like. I'll try that in a wee minute, right, once I've done the testing. So I'll just put it in the PowerPoint while we're here. How can I not find this? Is it under that? No, it's not under that there. It's not there. Must be this one then. This one? Ah, there it is. Yeah. Good find. So where was I? Aye, so we're going to try and ping 172.169.16.1. So that's this interface here, the other side of the. Oh, it worked. Look at that. Fantastical, right? So then we'll go a next step. We'll do port number 2. That worked. So we're able to ping from the switch to the router 1 interface G00. Not the switch, the PC to S000, and then the PC to S001. So we've got from here to here so far. Then we're going to ping the loopback address is 80.80.80.1. Oh, and that works as well. Would you believe it? Would you believe it? We'll just go all the way right down to 18.2, which is this one down here. So we're going to try and ping that. All works. First time. Well, what do you know? Things work first time. Miracle. Right, let's go back to R1 and try that thing that Robert mentioned. Enable config T router EIGRP 1 and then EIGRP router hyphen ID 1.1.1. There you are, it did look. So router EIGRP1, EIGRP router ID 1.1.1.1. Well done, Robert. Spectacular find. We'll just do the same in all the other ones just to keep it nice and consistent. EIGRP router hyphen ID. Cute.
You missed the one.
Can I just take you everywhere I go, Scott? I just put a wee plug in my ear in a video, and every time I make a mistake, you can see, oh, you've done this wrong, you've done that wrong, and everything in life.
You just need somebody who's pedantic with you.
Oh, there's no one more pedantic than me. I'm just rushing, that's why. So that's it done. Just do a quick show run. Do a show. And there it is. Router ID 3.3.3. Smashing. It all worked just lovely. All chocolatey working. Fantabulous. Almost 11 o'clock. Right, okay, so remember we're doing the other class today as well, so we'll have a wee break in the middle there and we'll come back to the other class, but just before we do that, I'll show you what you're going to be doing next. Lovely jubbly.
John, one thing regarding the assessment here. Yeah, actually, see the router IT command you use here. In my assessment, I wasn't able to configure the router ID because of I'm not putting the EIGRP command before the router ID. So it didn't work. So I've already submitted. So I just mentioned it's not working for me just because of that reason. So I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you failed the assessment then.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
No, that's absolutely fine. No problem. You won't lose any marks for that.
Yeah. So I was like the router EIGRP and I was trying to do router ID. But you mentioned here that we need to write on EIGRP again. So that was a mistake.
They must have changed it because no problem. At one time, it used to just be router ID, router-ID, but they must have changed it a while ago because the guy that taught this to me, he did that. He did router ID and it didn't work. He says, I don't know why. It's just packet tracer doesn't support it. But we did it on the actual router and it did work.
Yeah, that's like the packet tracer is different from the actual router. Yeah, it is.